around this ghost. If we show up, then we still have it. Yeah, we slide around this coast. Yeah, we glowing up, but we still trapped, sitting high up on the stone. With my foes out, got the world clapping. Yeah, we vibing up in this show. So your main girl in the private section. Yeah, we ride around this ghost. If we show up, then we still have it. Yeah, we slide around this coast. Yeah, we glowing up, but we still trapped, sitting high up on the stone. With my foes out, got the world clapping. Yeah, we vibing up in this show. So your main girl in the private section. Yeah, glowing up, but we still trapped. That's how a nigga survives. Flowing out, got the crowd packed. Yeah, that's how a nigga provides. Y'all insta this, y'all snap that, y'all diss this, and they snap back. Another mass shooting in the headlines. I'm like, damn, where that attack at? Cause y'all think this about race. They flaunt that shit in your face. It's like every day it's the same agenda. It's really not that hard to trace. Fuck it, we might as well face it. Accept it, whatever it's wrapped in. There'll come a day when they run out of grace. So me and my niggas stay trapping. Yeah, ride around this ghost. If we show up, then we still have it. Yeah, we slide around this coast. Yeah, we glowing up, but we still trapped, sitting high up on the stone. When my foes out, got the world clapping. Yeah, we vibing up in this show. So your main girl in the private section. Hey, somewhat be too who I wanted to be and then what I became. Ended up going my own way, but I couldn't stay in my lane. Now if I'm honest, I've taken a liking to wearing these chains. They hold me down, make it easier when I start feeling the pain. Out of the overflow, your heart, they say your mouth speaks. Well, my heart must be fucked up, cause I can't speak and I can't sleep. So I stay woke in this daydream. Got shit to do, got the world to see. Got the same crew, got some new fleets. There's an empire, fuck a boutique, that's real. I only say what I feel, got a new plate with the same meal. On a new hype with the same chill. Y'all too fake, gotta stay real. Got cast down from heaven, but I'm too good to stay in hell. I don't know where the story ends, but I keep writing like, oh well, oh well. Yeah, I keep writing like, oh well, oh well. Yeah. Hey, I don't know where the story ends, but I keep writing like, oh well, oh well. Yeah, oh well. We ride around this ghost. If we show up, then we still have it. Yeah, we slide around this coast. Yeah, we glowing up, but we still trapped, sitting high up on the stone. When my foes out, got the world clapping. Yeah, we vibing up in this show. So your main girl in the private section. Yeah, we ride around this ghost. If we show up, then we still have it. Yeah, we slide around this coast. Yeah, we glowing up, but we still trapped, sitting high up on the stone. But my foes out, got the world clapping. Yeah, we vibing up in this show. So your main girl in the private section. Yeah. You already know this is about to be stupid. Whoa. How about the range? I'm feeling strange. I might be crazy. None of y'all phase me. I took a sip, I'm not acting my age. I took a trip, now they got me on stage. How about the range? How about the range? Whoa, this a new range, new page. Got me in a new country, new stage. I ain't signed no deal, I'm too paid. I do not have chill, I'm too crazy. I do not take L's, I'm too Brady. I might be frosted, I'm not flaky. Don't know what it cost me, it's all gravy. Turn on that faucet and just pay me. Whoa, we gon' get it, bring it back. Maybe Donald is a Mac. Couple bottles, empty glass. New machine, I'm sending facts. Bump the headline, check the facts. I'm not a gangster, but I'm a gorilla. Hop on the drums when I'm feeling J Dilla. Come get your lady, cause I'm a just stiller. How about the range? Whoa. Hey, yeah, I'm feeling strange. Whoa. How about the range? I'm feeling strange. I might be crazy. None of y'all phase me. I took a sip, I'm not acting my age. I took a trip, now they got me on stage. How about the range? How about the range? Whoa. There's no comparison, black in America, a little too arrogant. I just embarrass y'all niggas irrelevant. I shouldn't mention it, that's royal etiquette. Out of my element, way too intelligent. Grab you a therapist, send him my sentiments. Neck full of sediments, caught me a Tesla and skirt through the valley. Dropped an investment in Silicon Valley. All of this cake, but I'm missing the patty. already. Might mess around and just scoot to Miami. Drums are so loud that they breaking the chassis. King of the grass like a Lionel Messi. I am not crass, but my mental is messy. Mud in my glass while my pencil is sketching. All these rappers, but no one impressed me. Most of them actors that labels as testing. How about the range? Whoa. Hey, yeah, I'm feeling strange. Whoa. How about the range? I'm feeling strange. I might be crazy. None of your phase me. I took a sip, I'm not acting my age. I took a trip, now they got me on stage. How about the range? How about the range? Whoa. How about the range? I'm feeling strange. I might be crazy. None of your phase me. How about the range? Whoa. Yeah, I'm feeling strange. Whoa. That's the bad that you made, yeah. Yeah, bad that you made, that's the bad that you made. Aye, Katie, let's go.
All hell King Darius.
That's a bad that you made, that's a bad that you made. That's a bad that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, yeah. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant, on topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons out closets and making new deposits. I'm in my element, no ollies, you children popping mollies. I'm so intelligent, my honesty turned into philosophy. I go hard in the paint, the harder I play. Nigga, I'm like Harden on James, a problem to face. I don't wear my heart on my sleeve, just look in my eyes. Nigga, you can do what you need, I do what is right. I don't fucking want what you have, just look at your life. Nothing but is sacred to me, it's out of my sight. That just means it's out of my mind, it's not worth the fight. Nigga, yeah, I'm out of my mind, Hey, you did what you did.
Yeah, you did what you did.
Give a fuck about intentions.
Don't give a fuck about intentions.
You can watch what I do. Just stay the fuck out my mentions.
Stay the fuck out my mentions.
That's a bad that you made.
That's a bad that you made. That's a bad that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, yeah. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, yeah. That's a bad that you made. That's a bad that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, yeah. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, yeah. Let's go.
Good thing, yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need the G-Wagons. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sales. That good thing, yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need the G-Wagons. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sales.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808s, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock's crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now the king left and they so mad, it's like
good thing, yeah, I found that. sand.
Yeah, hey, look what I got. New whip with no top. Cooking up no stove top. Ice cold, no snowdrop. Big budget has big facts. Big money in the contract. Been running no contact. New record with the new tracks. Yeah, they been sending me new plaques. I don't really need new plaques. Nah, big rock with the suplex. Yeah, new rock got a new flex. Yeah, I'm current, I'm a new trend. Now boys with the full scent. Yeah, like I said, no new friends. We don't really need new friends.
Good thing, yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need a G-Wagon. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sense. That good thing, yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need a G-Wagon. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sense.
All you ever wanna do is play. So let's play.
Yeah. Hey, we stay woke, but y'all sleep. Rilla mode, but y'all sheep. Out in public, she a good girl, but at the crib, she a real freak. New throne for the new king. Same kid, now my streets go. Same gang, got the cheat code. I said stay woke, we in Rilla mode. I said stay woke, Rilla mode. Stay woke, Rilla mode. I said stay woke, Rilla mode. Stay woke, Rilla mode.
Stay woke, Rilla mode. Stay woke, Rilla mode. I said stay woke, Rilla mode. Stay woke,
Yeah,
Rilla
hey,
mode.
well, we can hold the peace or we can wage war, but I'm gonna get what I came for. Rilla gang, that's a crew name. We all graduated to the two-door. Sega Global, that's an infrastructure. All y'all niggas like the Titanic. I'm the iceberg, talking no Zucker on the front lines, but we don't panic. Shit getting messy, got nothing to rest, and I'm tired of niggas. They front they blessings, they want my suggestion, but don't want the fee. I'm just doing me, I don't answer their questions. All this flexing, got no one to see. All this aggression, I just want some peace. Not even sure that I'd like it in heaven. I guess when we get there, then we gon' see. I do not understand, I do not get what you do. You only got one life, but you act like you got two. Yo, we go bigger than what you are willing to do. I run with kings, but you peasants, you run with the goons. Hey, we stay woke, but y'all sleep. Rilla mode, but y'all sheep. Out in public, she a good girl, but at the crib, she a real freak. New throne for the new king. Same kid, now my streets go. Same gang, got the cheat code. I said stay woke, we in Rilla mode. I said stay woke, Rilla mode. Stay woke, Rilla mode. I said stay woke, Rilla mode. Stay woke, Rilla mode.
I said stay woke, Rilla mode. Stay woke, Rilla mode. I said stay woke, Rilla mode. Stay woke, Rilla mode.
Hey, y'all some jokers, y'all a bunch of clowns. You will not get a laugh out of me. You can talk, but you can't denounce. I live a different theology. Why I transferred to a new account? You just fucked over a prodigy. Posted up with a rented crown.
You are the king and apology.
You about to see a new side of me. I hope you know. We stand up and watch our enemy go. Empires fall, my legacy grows. I might just hop on this melody flow. All this vision, no clarity though. Y'all play a game that I bear in my soul. Ebony, ivory, nobody knows. Business vasectomy, nothing can grow. Everyone promises more than they actually do. We don't deliver on anything other than truth. Yo, we go bigger than what you are willing to do. I run with kings, but you peasants, you run with the goons. Hey, we stay woke, but y'all sleep. Rilla mode, but y'all sheep. Out in public, she a good girl, but at the crib, she a real freak. New throne for the new king. Same kid, now my streets go. Same gang, got the cheat code. I said stay woke, we in Rilla mode. I said stay woke, Rilla mode. Stay woke, Rilla mode. I said stay woke, Rilla mode. Stay woke, Rilla mode.
I said stay woke, Rilla mode. Stay woke, Rilla mode. I said stay woke, Rilla mode. Stay woke, Rilla mode. You really have people fooled out here, don't you? When are you peasants gonna learn that you can't pretend to be a king? It ends today.
Obesity is epidemic in the United States and a major cause of death.
What is fat activism?
I, a fat person, am sharing my own lived experience.
Pizza is a vegetable.
Your fat phobia is your problem.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Radical body positivity.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
There's only one man who can help me.
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
This day we fight!
Whole Norma.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing, 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 testicles, testicles. Welcome everyone to episode 3248 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gangcast, mancast, pimpcast, sleazecast, and slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, booshes, bustas, hustlers, and you hoes? It's your boy Papa Swolio, back with another episode. In today's episode, the Beastcast is powered, is sponsored by Everest and K2 Flexing.
Fucking Catalina.
On all you beaches. Welcome to the show, fam. Hashtag Swole season for a chance to win today's Swole card. Let's get right into today's episode. We have an overtime segment at the end of today's show for members only. Join us over at swolenormousx.com. We had a roundtable last night. All that private exclusive content is available now in the Swolenormous app for members. Join us over at swolenormousx.com. Join the Swole fam today and start crushing your gains. Start building muscle, focusing on your meditation, crushing all 7 pillars, and it's all in one place. Download the Swolenormous app today, swolenormousx.com. Hashtag Swole season for a chance to win today's Swole card. Happy Fef. Happy Friday, everyone. Let's get into that tip. Babe, just an inch. It's cold outside. All right, we got a couple here. Let me just actually load them up. And we got questions. We'll be loading up TikTok Live when we get some questions in the Knowledge Cock portion. Let me just open up these Swole fam posts. I didn't do so before we went live. Welcome, Pam, Cerny, Loretta. How we doing? Just another reminder that at the end of the show, we will have an overtime segment, and that'll be streamed live in the private Daily Swole Telegram chat, which is pinned in the Swole fam Telegram chat right there at the top, so you can find it easily if you're a member. Let's get into the first Swole fam
What's in the box?
post. We got this from the app. Alex says, I made a massive miscalculation in my scheduling and missed my Swolga gravity session yesterday. That happens. I started the next phase of the 90-day dash regardless. I whipped out the barbell for the first time since starting Swolenormous X, but I had to cut my first legs ignite short because my left forearm and hand gave out on me. Fortunately, I did everything on the list and it was a fantastic pump, but I'm extremely concerned about my hand and forearm. Well, we wish you the best. I'm not sure what's going on there, but definitely take care of it and corrective exercise and making sure that you use your rice bucket, Therabar, all those things to make sure that your forearm and your wrist and your elbows stay healthy. Jesse says, I have been watching Mr. Go to the fucking gym for a long time and has always made me smile and also has given me the motivation to lose 100 pounds bodybuilding and doing carnivore.
Wow.
I'm grateful to be a part of the community as a 53-year-old retired state police officer and now a commercial lender and entrepreneur. Welcome to the fam.
I give it a
Welcome.
A 10. A fucking 10.
Mr. Go to the fucking gym. I'll take it. We got this one from Rebecca looking swole as fuck. She says, hey there, new here. I'm 32 years old, starting losing weight April 23rd or April of 23 when I realized I wasn't getting any younger and my health wasn't getting any better. I was at my highest 330 pounds and have lost since then 160 pounds. Not done, but close to maintaining. I recently started 3 to 5 days a week strength training to tone and gain muscle. And I'm excited to be a part of this program where I've been hoping to join for a while. Can't wait to see what we can do here. Looking great. Good for you. 160 pounds. My goodness. That's absolutely fantastic. Good for you. That's legit. That's legit. Massive weight loss. 100 pounds, 160 pounds. Everyone's making sick gains. By the way, today I'm rocking the Stacy's mom goes to the fucking gym. So not only does Stacy's mom go to the fucking gym, Rebecca goes to the fucking gym, apparently. We have Jesse going to the fucking gym, Alex going to the fucking gym, Loretta, Pam, Oliver, Cerny, everyone here going to the fucking gym. So awesome to hear it. Glad to have everyone here. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. And if you haven't yet, leave a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Let's get into some questions. Loading up the interwebs. We'll go live on TikTok for some questions, and we'll take some from Instagram stories. If you have questions live, drop them in the chat. Hashtag Ask Papa Swole. Let's get into some topics. Laka S Drafts. Laka S Drafts on Instagram stories. Papa Swolio, as a beginner, what are a few workout exercises to do at home? Google it. Push-ups, pull-ups, I mean, anything. So this has really nothing to, I mean, yoga, these questions, go to the gym, get a gym membership. Don't just train at home. Go lift weights, get on a quality program. You could join us over at swolenormousx.com and start a proper strength training program. There's a lot of things you could do at home instead of just listing a couple arbitrary things that you can do, which isn't going to help you. You need to get on a structured program. So it's not just about doing something, and it's not about doing something is better than nothing. Saying that something is better than nothing is really an excuse to not really put in quality effort. So organize your time, get your shit together, get on a quality strength training program, and start making those gains and do it properly. You want to make sure you're starting to do it properly. You don't want to just do some random stuff at home. The Rocket Kid, Papa Solio, best way to get over a breakup by going to the gym.
Attacks on me, quite frankly, are attacks on science.
It's true. Go to the fucking gym. Get over a breakup, go to the fucking gym. You want to find someone? Go to the fucking gym. Why? Improve yourself. Focus on improving yourself. Focus on taking yourself, leveling up, and you're going to find someone that is interested in doing likewise. So improve yourself and get to know who you are and what you're all about. And a lot of people don't know who they are. They stay in these indoctrination systems, stay in these little bubbles, and they never actually stretch and spread their wings, and they wonder why they don't find someone that's right for them. Well, you don't even know who you are. You haven't optimized yourself. So focus on improving yourself, and everything around you will improve. All right, more questions. Justin Coutinho on Instagram stories. Papa Swolio, I'm mostly working with dumbbells that go up to 50 pounds. What to do when I've outgrown them for certain things? This is what I always talk about. You need to progressively overload. You need weights that go heavier, or you need to go and get a gym membership or to buy more weights. So if you have a set of 25-pound dumbbells, sure, you can make progress with certain exercises, but after a while, you're going to need more. You're going to need more. So for those exercises where 50 is too light, you need heavier weights. Plain and simple. You're going to need heavier weights. Reese Martin, 79, Papa Swolio, wanting to get healthy and lose weight, best way without going super intense. You're not going to make progress without going super intense. That's a Matt Damon. Come on now. The best way to make progress without going super intense. Well, that's a great way of saying, how do I make progress without putting in a lot of effort? So you're not going to. You need intensity. Intensity means proximity to failure. And if you're not training properly, you're not going to build muscle. You're going to be spinning your wheels and essentially wasting your time. You don't want to go to the gym and just lifting the same weights all the time. Every time you're doing the same stuff, not making progress. You need to push yourself if you want to make progress. So you don't want to lose weight. You want to build muscle. You want to minimize fat. And that's going to have to do with all of your 7 pillars: proper nutrition, proper strength training, sleep, sunlight, all those different things. And you're going to have to train intensely. Haidao Cosmin 1. Papa Swolio, how to get rid of man boobs? Well, nutrition and strength training. You probably have very high estrogen levels, and that's going to come from environmental factors and your food and your lifestyle habits and lifting weights, and we wish you the best. Strength training and proper nutrition. Aero VIP, Papa Swolio, is there progress at the gym when working extremely physically and psychologically demanding job? So in other words, can you make progress at the gym? Yes, you can. One of the issues with making progress or building muscle is that you want to provide yourself and expose your muscles and your body to a growth stimulus while minimizing fatigue. But fatigue doesn't just come from the gym. Fatigue can come from psychological fatigue from work or other physically stressful factors. So I would recommend if you have a physically demanding job during the day that you wake up early and you go to the gym first. It's going to be better for you, set the foundation, give you more energy throughout the day, and you're going to prioritize your health before your job. Your job doesn't care about you. Just saying, your job doesn't care about you. You need to care about your health. So you have to prioritize that by doing it first, and it will make the rest of your day easier. You got to do it first. Got to do it first. Yabin Telnas. Papasolio, what do you think of protein shakes like Premier for getting in protein? Collagen's great. Grass-fed whey is great. A lot of these protein powders and supplements have a lot of either heavy metals or a lot of fillers and artificial sweeteners and things like that. So you want to make sure you're getting something that doesn't have stabilizers or artificial sweeteners and flavors. I'm not familiar with Premier, but likely it's going to have a lot of other fillers in it. Most proteins do because people are obsessed with the flavor and they want to eat cookies and cream or birthday cake flavored crap, when in reality, you just need the actual raw ingredients. You don't need all that extra garbage. So that's why I think about a lot of those stabilizers. Even when it comes to pre-workouts, you can get the raw ingredients and mix them yourself without all the stabilizers. You don't need it to taste like unicorn rainbow jizz. All right. Last chance for questions. Drop in the comments. Hashtag AskPapaSwolio. That's what we got from Instagram stories. Short and sweet. Obviously, Instagram stories only has a limited amount of space to ask questions, but drop them in the chat. We're live on Rumble and YouTube at The Daily Swole. We'll stay here as long as we get a couple questions on TikTok. Last chance for questions. Going once, going twice. Any tips on adrenaline fatigue? You mean fatigue? Improving lifestyle habits, prioritizing sleep, prioritizing meditation, exercise. Most people aren't sleeping properly, so that's very foundational and very important. Work hard, nerd hard. What are some ways to naturally raise testosterone? Eat more red meat, get better sleep. How's your sleep? Pretty simple stuff. Last chance for questions. Wow, light day today. We'll have a short show. I'm not worried about it. I'm not going to sit around and wait if people aren't showing up. Ryan, any ways to target visceral fat loss, or do we not get to choose from where? You cannot spot reduce fat. What you can do is build muscle all over your body and manage your inflammatory foods and your caloric intake and make sure that you are minimizing extra body fat that you're putting on. So you want to build muscle. You don't want to lose weight. You want to lose fat. So you want to make sure that you're training in order to optimize muscle building. Work hard, nerd hard, asking me about testosterone boosting. Your sleep is terrible. Eating good, lifting, but can't stay asleep. Well, that's what you got to focus on. So I don't know what your sleep habits are, but red lights at night, cold, dark room, not eating or drinking a couple hours before bed, shutting down, winding down. Some things like magnesium before bed and collagen can be beneficial, but you got to make sure you improve your sleep. Improving your sleep is going to be probably the most important thing, and I've been talking about this to everyone. It's more important than drinking water. Sleep is so important. When I say more important than drinking water, you can go a couple days without drinking water. Not recommended. You shouldn't. You're going to have major dysfunction if you're just not drinking water. But you have to think about sleep. You get one bad night of sleep, it's going to cascade. Now, when I say a bad night of sleep, are you going to die if you get 5 hours of sleep a night? No, but it's going to radically destroy your health if you're chronically underslept, if you're not getting quality sleep every night. Marius, I'm having trouble getting motivation going to the gym, having a really bad month. Tips. Meditation, doing it regardless. So you don't need motivation to train. You need the discipline, and you need to prioritize it and forge your identity around someone who improves their health and prioritizes things like that, even if you don't want to do it. And I say it with those simple terms because no one cares if you're motivated or not. And that's not to be rude. That's just the fact. No one cares if you're motivated. No one cares if you feel like it. Now, if you're chronically exhausted, those are lifestyle habits that you need to improve so you're not wiped out, but you need purpose. You need purpose in your life. And going to the gym can give you purpose. Improving your health and improving your physical prowess is purpose. And taking care of yourself and being a good example for those around you. So discipline is going to give you that peace of mind and will give you that purpose. And it has nothing to do with whether you feel like doing it. If you're chronically exhausted and your training sucks, I'm not saying if you don't feel like doing it and you're pushing and you're burning yourself out, there's other factors for that. It could be poor programming, but if it's just with life, a lot of times it's lack of nutrition, lack of sunlight. That's so important. It seems kind of foofy. Oh, go get sun. When I say go get sun your nips, go touch grass, I'm not lying. It's really something that people don't do. Most people are wearing shoes all the time. They're wearing full clothes. They're never getting any kind of sunlight on their body, and they wonder why they're exhausted. Go get sun and tell me you can't go and get sun all day and then feel shitty. You're going to feel so much better if you combine that with proper nutrition. When I say proper nutrition, a lot of people think that they eat good. I eat good and I lift weights. Well, what does that mean? Eating good, your opinion of eating good doesn't mean you're eating good. I've seen what people think is good and it's garbage. So keep that in mind. Just because you think it's good doesn't mean you're actually taking care of yourself. Skin cancer risk. That's such a scam. Oh, that's such a scam. People put all these kinds of poisons and gene therapies into their body and eating tons of seed oils and ultra processed ingredients and wondering why they have issues. Your skin comes from what you're consuming. Your skin, your hair, skin, and nails, this is what your body is creating based off your nutrition. So if you trash your body, you're going to have all sorts of side effects. You're going to have all sorts of diseases. You're going to have all sorts of chronic conditions, psoriasis, bloating, joint pain, brain fog. You're going to have all these things that are chronically in your life as a result of what you're consuming, as a result of all your lifestyle habits. And hear me loud and clear, most people are always feeling bad. They don't realize how bad they feel. That's just become their new normal. So you don't realize how much of a drag your life is based on your actions. Got to improve your habits. F Sal, is yogurt good? Yogurt's great. Yogurt and kefir are great if you can get high quality dairy. Raw yogurt's great. Raw kefir is great. You can order this stuff online or find it at local farmers markets. Realmilk.com is great for finding raw dairy in local stores around you or in your area. But yogurt's great. Yogurt's great for digestion. I recommend it. Work Hard Nerd Hard says the best sleep I've had was during carnivore, so I think it's something I'm eating, just don't know. Carnivore is fantastic. It might not be ideal for everyone long term, but you can always add back in some fruit and things like that. But focusing on animal-based, focusing on carnivore being the center point of your nutrition should be what most people consider. I'm not saying you can't have carbs, but Cerny says people don't know shit about nutrition. They don't even try to. Because when you talk about nutrition, and this is what happens, we got a story I got a post on X that we're going to share when we go into the balls deep portion about calories in, calories out. And we're kind of talking about that a little bit last night on the round table. And I think this is my personal opinion, seeing everything that people post online, fitness influencers, this, that, and the other. I think most people just do the calories in, calories out because it's easy. You can see numbers, you can add, subtract, and it's a great way to not get into it's a great way to avoid the tendency for people to get ideological when it comes to foods. Now, I'm not ideological when it comes to foods. It's just been proven based on trial and error and all the evidence out there that being a vegan, avoiding animal-based saturated fats and stuff like that is just bad for you. All these vegetable oils and seed oils are ultra-processed. Things like high fructose corn syrup and all these artificial sweeteners, they're just not good for the gut biome. They're not good for the body. And most people don't want to give away the things that taste good. So it's like taking an iPad away from a 4-year-old that's addicted to the screen. They're going to kick and scream and throw a tantrum. Most people don't want to change their habits. But I like my cookies, but I like my candies. Then stay fat, stay miserable, keep dealing with their poor skin conditions. Either you want to make changes, but most people don't want to address those issues, so they just keep yapping about calories in, calories out. Sure, you can gain weight or lose weight eating garbage food, but you're also sacrificing and losing a lot of essential vitamins and minerals, and you're going to have a lot of other side effects from eating garbage foods. It's not about stepping on a scale and seeing the weight go down 5 pounds, because you're probably losing muscle mass and bone density too. So muscle mass is the most important thing you should be focusing on. You don't want to lose weight. You want to lose fat. You want to minimize fat. You want to build muscle. And I always talk about this. You don't have to be obsessed with taking pictures. You can. You don't have to be obsessed with stepping on a scale. But stepping on a scale is just one angle. It's one perspective. It's like getting one dimension. So a scale only tells you how much it's pulling into the earth. So if I step on a scale, it doesn't tell me my body fat percentage. But what I do is I look at my worksheets and I see if I'm getting stronger. If I'm adding weight, reps, or both, and I'm getting stronger and I'm maintaining my body weight, that means that I'm minimizing excess fat and I'm getting stronger. Or I'm building muscle and I'm losing some fat slowly over time. If I am not getting stronger, but my weight keeps going up. So let's say I'm 218 pounds. I'm about 218, 220. Let's say I see my weight creeping up, but I'm not getting stronger. That means I'm putting on fat. Let's say I'm getting stronger, but my weight's maintaining. That means I'm either not putting on fat or I'm using some body fat and I'm getting stronger. So my weight is kind of staying around the same, but I'm getting stronger, which means I'm developing my muscle mass and my body is responding with hypertrophy. If I'm losing a little bit of weight and I see the weight going down a little bit and I'm getting stronger, that means the same thing. That means I'm minimizing fat storage or losing some body fat, but I am still developing and maintaining and building my muscle mass. So I just go based off the numbers. And I don't want to see the numbers. I want to see my numbers going up for my training, but I don't want to see, at this point, I don't want to see the numbers going up rapidly on the scale. I don't want the numbers on the scale going up unless my weight and my strength is going up. That's more ideal. LBRC Aviation. Yo, bro, how many times do I go to the gym per week? Also, how do I lose weight? How many times do you lift? I would recommend people, if you're natural, 4 days a week. Upper lower is a great place to start. We always talk about full body too, but that's just the latest. So you could do, I think a great combination is upper lower or full body. Upper lower is going to be the best way for most people to kind of dip their toes into higher intensity training, lower volume, and recoverability. Especially if you're not taking tons of anabolic steroids, you're not going to recover as fast as you think. Just because you can lift 6 days a week, you're not recovering enough. You're not recovering enough. You're not managing your fatigue enough. And you're going to see your numbers plateau. You're not going to be training 5 or 6 days a week and see your strength increasing consistently enough. So a lot of people like to go more because we have this human concept that more is better for everything. And when it comes to training, more isn't better. More weight, more reps, sure, but the volume is not what you're trying to. You don't want more fatigue. You want to minimize the fatigue as much as you can. You're going to get fatigue no matter what. No matter if you're lifting weights, you're going to fatigue yourself. We know this. You're going to need to recover. So the question is, okay, with the amount of work you're doing, are you providing the proper stimulus? Cool. Once you've provided the proper stimulus, then you don't want to do excess junk volume because you're doing more than required. Even if you like lifting, you don't want to do more than required because then it's going to take you longer to recover. You want to make progress. If you're trying to build muscle, the goal is not to get a pump. The goal is not to be sore. Not that you won't get a pump, not that you won't be sore, but the goal isn't to be as sore as possible. People associate being sore as hell as getting results when it's just a lot more, mechanical fatigue, or it's the calcium ion channels and you're feeling more sore, but being sore is not the goal. So when you're not aiming to be sore or you're not aiming for a pump, you start training with a little bit more intent. And that's what Maximum Swole inside Swolenormous X is all about. So if you want to learn about our programs, you can join. It's less than $1 a day. Head on over to swolenormousx.com and join the fam and start the 90-day dash, start Maximum Swole, join the fam, and start all of our program that we have. Plus, we have all the yoga, nutrition, elimination diet, thousands of recipes. It's all over on the website, swolenormousx.com, and we have the brand new Swolenormous app to pair up with it. John says, I'm getting stronger from Maximum Swole, but my body weight fluctuates 5 pounds. I'll take it. And you're going to notice this too. the more consistent you are, and after you because if you're not tracking your calories, I'm not saying you have to, but if you're not tracking, strictly, you might have some more fluctuations, some more water retention. The more consistent you are day to day, the more you'll see your weight kind of maintain. But fluctuations during the day, of course, if you're weighing yourself, you want to make sure you wake up, pee, poop, and then weigh yourself before you drink anything. And one weigh is not going to be enough. You don't have to weigh yourself every day. You can, but if you miss a couple days, that's fine. Just wake up the next day, go to the bathroom, weigh yourself, cool, and just keep track of it and see if your weight is going up or going down, and also cross-check that with your numbers. If you're getting stronger, then you have information where you can cross-check with your body weight and have an idea of what's going on. If your weight is increasing a lot, but you're plateauing with your strength, that means you're probably eating too much food, or you're not eating enough protein, or your recovery sucks, and you need to go back to your programming. You need to go and adjust things. This is why you want to be consistent, because then you can micro-adjust things here and there. But you shouldn't be obsessed with the scale. You shouldn't be changing your entire programming based on the scale alone. You need to have all that other context in there. Deepa on TikTok, what do you think of dividing your program to pulling muscles / pushing muscles, legs, and core? So push-pull legs. I think push-pull legs is fine. I think you're better off getting more frequency and doing upper-lower. I think push-pull legs is a waste when upper-lower exists. You're much better off doing upper-lower than push-pull legs. Tanner says, hello, your beard is looking incredible. Thank you. Appreciate you. Aww. I just got it trimmed and I got all cleaned up yesterday. So this is I didn't brush it or anything today, but it's a fresh trim. So it's looking nice and tight today. My beard looked wild yesterday. My hair's been growing fucking fast. It looked wild. It looked like I haven't gotten it. I get it cleaned up every 2 weeks. It looked like it was 3 weeks or a month. Jack Santa, yes, you need supporting data. This is what we were talking about yesterday. People take one number and they change all their, look, if you don't have a process and you're not training and your programming doesn't have intent behind it, and you're not cross-checking with other aspects, then one number doesn't mean anything. So like I said, if I step on a scale and the number is up or down, oh my God, it's up. Okay. Maybe that's a great thing. Maybe you're building muscle, and you have to cross-check this with other aspects of your programming. And if you're not consistent and you're not tracking any of these things, and you don't know where you're going or where you've been, if you don't know what weight you lifted last time, then you're going to go to the gym and then just go based on how you feel. And you might be lifting less weight than you did last time. You might have done a couple reps less, and you're not providing progressive overload when you could have done more. You should have added another pound, and you didn't do that. So if you're not tracking, you don't know what exactly you need to do for progressive overload. And it takes a long time. It takes months and years, and it takes a lot of focus and attention in order to be consistent with that. If you're trying to build muscle, and most people need to, and most people should be primarily focusing on building muscle, then focus on building muscle. What are you doing to focus on building muscle? And this is this is like going through life being defensive. If you're trying to lose weight, I want to lose weight and maintain this. I want to, lose weight first. I want to lose fat and then build muscle. What you're doing is you're playing defensive, and you're going to lose. You're going to lose. You can't go through life defensively. Just trying to lose weight, that's defensive. Get aggressive, go on the offense and build muscle. I'm telling you, the fat will come off. You need more lean mass. You need more bone density. You need all these things. And if you're weighing yourself at all different times in the day, you're going to the gym and you're weighing yourself, and you're weighing yourself at home. Those are different scales. Understand, it doesn't really matter what the number is as long as it's accurate to where you're weighing, right? You're at the gym scale, and that one's, one of those doctor scales, and it's been beat up for 30 years and it's never calibrated. And then you go home and you step on this cheap scale you got on Amazon for $15, and it's like your numbers are all over the place. Maybe the floor in your house is a little bit slanted, so it's not going to weigh as accurately, or whatever it is. You want to make sure you're consistent with how you are tracking this stuff. You want to make sure that you're tracking accurately and consistently. And if you're not testing or tracking these things under the same conditions every day, then your tests are not reliable. So you have to be your own scientific experiment. You have to test under the same conditions. Rudy, hey Papa, what kind of workout do you recommend for a diabetic? Like type 2? Nutrition. Consider going carnivore, get your insulin sensitivity back on track, lifting heavy weights. I recommend the same stuff for a diabetic as someone who doesn't want to become a diabetic. Dominic Hack, Papa Swole, all my gym at the apartment has is dumbbells. Do you have any good exercises? Sure, you can do a lot of stuff with dumbbells. Check us out, swolenormousx.com. We have tons of programming for free weights. There's a lot of good exercise you can do with dumbbells. Clarence Domingo, intensity or volume? Volume is essentially just how many sets you're doing. And the reps also. Intensity is always going to be more important than volume. Training close to proximity to failure and then only doing as much volume as you need so you can recover before the next session. And you want to be training a body part every 48 to 72 hours. So if you're doing every other day, one set close to failure every other day is going to be great for most body parts. Frequency is very important. So how do you create that growth stimulus optimally while minimizing fatigue so you can train it as soon again as possible? If you're trying to bring up a body part, you want to make sure you're training more frequently. John, Papa Swole, I fluctuate back and forth between 175 to 180, but my overall physique looks significantly thicker / dense. My weight is the same. You're building muscle and probably minimizing fat, or you're building muscle. Remember, if you are changing your programming, okay, likely if you're doing full body or upper lower and you're getting more recovery, understand that when you change to this type of split, you're likely going to see growth or get growth in areas that you were stagnant before. If you're training, let's say, heavy hip hinge or T-bar rows, like for back thickness or stiff leg deadlifts, and you're doing that once a week, and all of a sudden you up it to twice a week, you're getting a lot more stimulus. You're going to see more results for certain areas. When you program better, you're going to get growth in areas that you really weren't getting growth before. And the human body is big. The human body is big. And some of these muscles are really thick or deep or long on the back. You can add a lot of weight in terms of building lean tissue. And you might not even notice it that much. And you'll put on, there's a lot of places that people need to, there are a lot of different exercise and things that people can do. And once you actually hit that frequency and that stimulus properly for certain muscles, all of a sudden you'll see growth that you never accessed before because you didn't have the proper frequency or intensity. Scott Cross, where can I get your programs? swolenormousx.com has all the information you need for how to access the app and all of our programs and yoga classes and meditation and such. Yeah, Mike Mensner had a lot of great things, but I think what he didn't have was the frequency. His was you're training body parts once every couple weeks at one point, but I think you need more than that. Frequency is important, but the volume is not important. And when I say volume is not important once the stimulus is achieved. So if you're doing 3 or 4 sets for an exercise, you're wasting a couple of those sets. So you can do 1 or 2 sets for a body part, but depends on the frequency. You might not need 2 sets. 1 might be enough if you're going to train it in 2 days. If you're going to train a body part on Monday and Wednesday, how are you going to train with proximity to failure and do more than 1 set and recover in time for 48 hours? You're not going to, in most cases. And people think like, oh my God, that's not enough. Well, if you're training hard enough, 1 set is plenty on Monday if you're going to train that body part again on Wednesday, I promise you. Gordon Warwood, Papa Swolio, my left side is smaller and weaker than my right. How's best to equalize this? Unilateral movements. So train that left side. Do a set on your left side first, and then without rest, go right into your dominant side and match the reps. So make sure you're prioritizing the weaker side, whether it's single arm shoulder or curls or triceps or single leg extensions or press, things like that. Do unilateral work. Stacy in the chat, bruh, not my name being Stacy, and that's the shirt you're wearing. Yeah, your mom goes to the gym. That's why she's got it going on. Tell her to call me. I don't know why she's been ghosting me, but tell your mom I said hi.
Because Dickens?
No, it's definitely not pumpkin spice. Thanks for the call out. No, it's not pumpkin spice. John and Angela, is chest, tri, back by, then shoulder, leg. Start over for 6 days a week. Good. Too much. It's too much. This is just my opinion. 6 days a week. When are you getting recovery? When are you recovering? 1 day a week? You're not training intensely enough. And the frequency is not there. You're much better off doing, you're essentially doing chest, tri, back, by, and then shoulder, leg. I would recommend going to an upper lower. I would just recommend going to an upper lower. Do upper lower rest, rest, or upper lower rest, repeat. You could do upper rest, lower rest. There's different ways to do it. So just saying, when you're training and you're warming up for an exercise and your working set is going to be whatever exercise, a leg curl, a hack squat, a chest press, and you're doing your one set all out up to and including failure, right? You're going to like a 0 RIR. You're doing 5, 6, 7, 8 reps. That's the stimulus. That's the stimulus. That's most of what you need. Doing a second set is generally unnecessary if your focus is on frequency, because if you're trying to train that body part, if you're starting it on Monday and you're trying to train that body part again on Thursday or Wednesday, you have to keep in mind that you need to be able to recover not just locally, but systemically for that training session on Thursday, because you have other body parts. So if you do a Monday, Thursday, maybe you can get away with progressively overloading. Maybe you recover faster and you're able to do 2 sets of chest on Monday and 2 again on Thursday. I've tried that. It doesn't work for me. If I do 2 sets on Monday, I'm not doing 2 sets again until Friday. So what I've done, and this is my approach, and I've seen much more results, and I see much more strength improvements and muscle improvements. Rather than doing 2 sets for chest on Monday and 2 on Friday, I'd rather do 1 on Monday, 1 on Wednesday, and 1 on Friday. And you might be saying, well, Papa Swolio, that's 3 sets instead of 4. Yeah, but I'm training 3 times instead of 2. So I'm getting 3 high stimulus sets rather than 2 high stimulus sets, because the second set is not going to be anywhere near matching the first. So I recommend doing frequency over the volume, and you'll see your gains improve. So I'm not saying you can't do twice a week. Twice a week is great. That's an upper lower split. But 3 times a week is better than 2, objectively. Now, the differences might be more negligible. That depends on your schedule. That depends on your individuality. You might try doing full body or something 3 times a week, and you might not like it. Okay, that's different. If you like upper lower, that's great. That's twice a week. That's fantastic. But you can see how 3 times a week or 3.5, if you're doing every other day, can be a lot more frequent of a stimulus than twice a week. But again, twice a week is much better than 1, and 3, depending on the programming. Because if you do full body 3 or 3.5 times a week, depending on how you program, it could be better or it could be worse. So it really depends on how you program it. It's much more advanced. I think it's great, but it's much more advanced, and you have to make sure you're programming it properly, because if you're doing full body, you really have to be mindful of the order of exercises, and you have to be mindful of the exercise selection, because if you're choosing very fatiguing exercise, you're going to burn out. So you have to make sure that you are balancing that out properly. Scott, so instead of increasing in weight per set heavier and do 1 set 3 days. The worst thing that you can do is do 3 working sets and increase the weight as you get more fatigued. So if you're doing 3 sets of chest exercise, why are you going heavier for the second and third set? You need to be doing your preparation sets or your preparation warm-up sets for your all-out working set. Your first set should be the heaviest. You shouldn't be adding weight as you're getting more fatigued. So the worst thing you can do is do one set of 12 reps, then another set for 8 reps, and then go heavier, and then do a set for 6 reps. You're more fatigued on that third set. You got it backwards. Yeah. So again, it's your proximity to failure. You could build muscle with a wide range of repetitions. So you can build muscle with 20 rep sets. My point is, if you're getting 5 stimulating reps on average per set, if it's a first set, why are you doing 15 reps before you get to the 5, right? Why are you doing 15 reps before you get to the stimulating 15 to 20 reps? Why not do a heavier set and do 6 reps? And then on that second rep, you're already getting the stimulus and you're also doing a lot less work. So you're incurring less fatigue. You're going to recover faster. When you do Maximum Swole, that's I guess our top program currently inside Swole Enormous X. Most people are doing Maximum Swole. You're going to not feel as sore. You are going to see those strength increases much more dramatically, and you're going to have much less systemic fatigue and local fatigue because you're creating the stimulus, but you're not beating yourself up to the point where you have that much damage that it takes you longer to recover. I don't want to be sore for 5 days because then I can't train and create the stimulus again. If I'm doing 6 sets on Monday for chest, I'm not doing chest until next Monday. You're better off doing 3 sets a week, 1 set 3 times a week, than you are doing 3 sets once a week or 6 sets once a week. It's better. Frequency is better. And I do understand if this is the first time that you're hearing this, the paradigm is a mindfuck. It is a mindfuck because with many things in society, more is better, or we assume that more is better. Well, if I want to build more muscle, I need to do more work. I need to do more reps. I need to do more volume. Hey, my chest isn't growing. Let me do 6 sets. Well, I need to get a little bit bigger. Let me add another exercise so I could do 8 sets. And what you're doing is you're just beating a dead horse. It takes like 3 or 4 sets to maximize. Let me see if I get this right. It's about 3 or 4 sets to match the stimulus from that first set. So if you're doing 5 sets of chest, the last 4 match the first 1. So you're doing 4 sets to try to match the stimulus from the first set. So you're that much more sore. You've created that much more fatigue when you're better off just doing that first set or maybe 2 sets and then recovering. You don't need those last ones. So when I say 1 all-out set, people are like, well, what about a warm-up? I'm not saying don't warm up. So you might do some dead hangs, some club swings, whatever it is. You get on, let's say, the Smith machine, and you put on 45 pounds each side. And you do like maybe 5 or 10 reps, get a little, do your little preparation, maybe put on a little bit more weight, do 2 or 3 reps, you rest a little bit, put on a little bit more weight, do a couple reps. Cool, I'm ready for my all-out set. And then you do your all-out set for 5, 6, 7 reps. You're minimizing the fatigue. You're preparing yourself for that all-out set. I'm not saying don't, quote, warm up, but you also don't need that term. It's preparation. You don't want to warm up because people are thinking, well, I need to be sweaty and out of breath and do 30 minutes of cardio first. That's not what warming up means. You need your preparation set so you're ready for that all-out working set, which doesn't come from jumping jacks. It comes from doing the exercise and building up, getting your motor units ready, getting the local warmth and the motor unit transmission from your central nervous system faster and prepared for an all-out set, and then you do it. Then you hit it. Does that make sense? Any other questions? Drop them in the comments, and then we're going to move on. If you want to catch the rest of the show live, come on over on Rumble and YouTube at The Daily Swole, and you can subscribe on Spotify and Apple Podcast. We're here every day, got content every day on the podcast feeds. John says, I'll admit I was a bit skeptical, not no more, Maximum Swole works. Look, that's why I try things. I try things. And I've been doing this for a while, and this is why I promote it, because it does work. And like anything else, it's a mindfuck for people when I say, hey, stop eating all this ultra-processed garbage. Oh, but I like this. But what about this? But what about this? You actually cut out some of these garbage foods and you experience it for yourself and you realize, wow, this stuff is toxic garbage. And then you start feeling better. And then if you ever eat that crap again, you realize how bad it makes you feel because now you have perspective. When you're living in filth from an emotion, from an environmental standpoint, slathering your body with toxic chemicals and eating all this crap, what you're doing is you're just normalizing this kind of poor behavior. So you don't know what it's like to feel good. Most people that start doing Maximum Swole, they've never really felt recovered. This is why when people train 6 days a week, guess what happens? You train 6 days a week, you're constantly wiped out. Why am I not seeing progress? Then you take on 3 or 4 days off because you go on a trip or something happens with your business or work, and then you can't train for 3 or 4 days. You come back, you're like, oh my God, I haven't trained in a while. I'm going to feel like shit. And then you're stronger and you get a sick palm. You feel great. Oh my God, I feel amazing. Why am I so strong? Oh, it's because you actually recovered. You're beating yourself down. You're never actually fully recovering, and you're experiencing what it's like to actually be recovered. Imagine feeling like that and doing your workout and feeling 100% to go all out every time you train. You're not constantly worn down. That's what Maximum Swole does, and that's what maximizing stimulus and minimizing fatigue does. So people have it backwards when it comes to volume and stuff. More is not better. Training more often is not the answer. Well, what if I do 2-a-days? You're just going to be more exhausted and see less results. When was the last time you drank a soda? I don't know. I like sparkling water and stuff, but a soda? I don't remember. Maybe a decade. I don't know. I do not remember. All right, let's go into Balls Deep. Fam, if you're watching on TikTok, make sure you like, subscribe, follow. Go to swolenormousx.com, join the fam, check out our memberships. And less than $1 a day, you could join the Swole fam and access our app and start crushing it with us. So let's continue the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out, beaches. Come follow the rest of the show. Cool story, Hansel. All right, let's go into Balls Deep.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. That's deep.
All right. Here we go. We got some people watching over in the Daily Swole Telegram chat, too. Yeah, Topo Chico's good. I like a Topo Chico. We like Topo Chico. I got it in the fridge. All right, let's get into some of this shiznit. All right, let's check this out. Pick a number. Pick a number 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3, and then let's watch this video first. From N Wokeness, Tim Waltz, quote, "We got ourselves in this mess because we did not embrace immigrants, wokeness, and DEI." Well, let's see. Let's take a listen to this and see how retarded this is. Let's take a look at this video.
That our strength is our diversity. We've been talking about this for years as a country of immigrants, and we let them define the issue on immigration. We let them define the issue on DEI, and we let them define what woke is. We got ourselves in this mess because we weren't bold enough to stand up and say, you damn right we're proud of these policies. We're going to put them in, and we're going to execute them. And so that our strength is...
Can you imagine getting absolutely shellacked promoting communist policies and then saying, we didn't embrace it enough. We let them define it. We let them tell us what it... These policies are garbage. Yeah, do you want someone that's hired based on, I don't know, their melanin content and not their capacity? These people are evil. Absolute retards. All right, let's check this out. All right, so this is a good example, and this is what we were talking about last night on the round table about calories in, calories out. So people are obsessed with calories in, calories out, and I really do believe from an influencer standpoint, people are obsessed with that because it's easy. Ooh, people know 900 less than 1,000. Ooh, 900 better. 900 better. And this is the problem. Everyone's obsessed with losing weight. Less calories, right? What's the question that I always get on the podcast? How do I lose weight? How do I lose weight? Fuck your weight loss. Seriously. Fuck the weight loss. Build muscle. Stop trying to lose weight. This is why people are emaciated and disgustingly unhealthy. It's because they're skinny fat or they're fat fat. Build muscle. So This picture says both meals are about 1,000 calories. One makes you fat, inflamed, and hungry again in 2 hours. The other builds muscle, burns fat, and keeps you full for hours. So if you're just listening, the picture is a big soda, a Big Mac, or some garbage fast food meal with fries. And on the right, you have asparagus, and then you have a big tomahawk steak. So you're going to tell me the calories in, calories out is all that matters? Look at this picture. You're going to tell me it's calories that matter and not the quality of the food. I'm so tired of this argument because it's absolutely fucking stupid. It's so stupid. The calories in, calories out is so fucking dumb. Look at the right. If you're playing the calories in, calories out game, you are saying that these two are the same. I don't care what anyone says. You're talking about calories in, calories out. You're saying these are the same things. That's what you're saying. Yes, of course, they don't look the same. They're not the same. They're not the same. So you eat the thing on the right, you are going to be stuffed. You're going to feel good. You're not going to have cravings. You're going to be fucking full. But calories in, calories out. But I can eat on the left as long as it's not the same, less calories than on my... All right. Another thing. You know how we feel about pharmaceutical companies and artificial gene therapy and vaccines and all these absolute scams. If you haven't listened to the most recent Joe Rogan podcast with Suzanne Humphries, it's a great listen. Her book is great. I read it a while ago. It's awesome. So make sure you go and catch this up. So sharing this from Suzanne Humphries, thanks to Joe Rogan, my info has seen more people. For some reason, this was not put up in the video. So here's the Federal Register I keep referring to. So this is from June 1st, 1984. Check out this paragraph. Okay. So we've always talked about these pharmaceutical companies. They are not going to allow any backtalk when it comes to any of these pharmaceutical products, including vaccines. And again, this is why CNN and MSNBC and all these, pretty much every legacy channel is massively funded, funded by pharmaceutical companies. It's not because they're running advertisements and everyone's, ask your doctor about chloroborn. What they're doing is they are supporting and essentially bankrolling all of these industries and these legacy media outlets in order to control what they say about these products. So if you don't go along with what we say, if you don't protect our bottom line the way we want, we're going to pull our funding. So it's not to advertise their drugs, it's to keep these legacy media outlets in their back pocket. Quote, any possible doubts, whether or not well-founded, ready? Whether or not well-founded. Let's say there's a lot of doubts with vaccines and all these cryptic products that have just been shoved down our throat for decades. Any possible doubts, whether or not well-founded, about the safety of the vaccine cannot be allowed to exist in view of the need to assure that the vaccine will continue to be used with the maximum extent consistent with the nation's public health objectives. So in other words, no matter if it's good information, no matter if these vaccines are absolutely detrimental in every aspect and do nothing to humanity, they cannot be allowed to exist. So any doubts cannot be allowed. Whether or not there's studies and evidence and any kind of good conversation, all has to be suppressed and shoved under the rug. Listen to the podcast, buy her book, check it out. This is from 1984. They are not your friend. They are not helping you. And this is one of the major reasons why we have massive, massive health crisis. And of course, in the past 5 years, they've pumped more of this chemical trash into everyone's bodies. This is why we're having so much more mental illness, autism, all these things, cancers. All of this is coming from these experimental and forced therapies, quote unquote. Just my opinion, but all signs point to yes, but we can't have that conversation. Oh, because I'm not a medical doctor, so I can't read and formulate thoughts and opinions on my own because, well, I don't wear a white jacket. So, I haven't gotten indoctrinated in 10 years of medical school with zero education on nutrition and lifestyle habits. No vaccine history. I'm just told to push these things because this is the way it is and anyone else is wrong and they're bad and they're a conspiracy theorist. So yeah, use your brain, think for yourself and make better lifestyle choices. All right, let's get into some videos. Here we go. Just absolute insane shit. Oliver Hall, number two. Number 2, Stitch, fat personal trainers.
What's in the box?
Personal trainer, you should be executed.
One of my favorite things
Whoa.
is when the trash takes itself out. Hi, I'm Roy. I am a fat personal trainer.
I'm going to pause it right there. What do you guys think about this so far? Fat personal trainer. Do you want to, let's say would you want an accountant that doesn't know how to do taxes? Do you want an accountant that is under investigation for tax fraud? Do you want to take business advice from someone who has only 10 failed businesses? Do you want to go to an anti-diet dietitian? Do you want to hire a plumber that doesn't know anything about plumbing? You know, do you want a mechanic that doesn't know where the engine block is? I'm just saying, do you want to hire someone that can't do these things themselves? I don't know. Do you want to go to someone that's going to do, hey, I don't know how to do haircuts, but I'll cut your hair. It's like, okay, that's going to turn out like shit. I'm not saying a personal trainer has to look like they're going to step on a bodybuilding stage, but you should be able to practice. You should be able to practice what you preach and preach what you practice. But if all the evidence is you don't know what you're doing because you can't do it yourself, how are you going to help someone else achieve this thing? Not inspiring. Okay, let's check this out.
I've been working in the fitness space for like 7 or 8 years now, and it never ceases to amaze me the amount of toxicity there is amongst other.
All right, so this guy's a total flamer. He's got painted nails and all this stuff. So cool. Not surprised. We got a woke tard.
Trainers. Personally, I advocate for body inclusivity in the fitness space always. And
we're so fucked. Send the asteroid.
most of that stems from the fact that my own personal journey in fitness started with a severe eating disorder. My ED almost unalived me, so I have no regrets about being in a larger body now. And as it stands now, I don't work with clients who work specifically on weight loss goals because it's not good for my mental health. And there are thousands of other goals that don't have to do with the size of your waist.
What are we talking about here? So this guy is charging clients so he can feel better. No, we're not going to talk about weight loss because that's going to affect my mental health. And there's so many other things we can do aside from improve their insulin sensitivity, their muscle mass, and improving their body composition, and avoiding type 2 diabetes and blah 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 blah. Retardation is real, people. It's real.
I was really nervous about having a career in fitness when I put on a little bit of weight. People flocked to me because they no longer found me intimidating. I've been featured in Men's Health magazine. I was recently in a music video about loving your body, and I'm currently on a billboard in Times Square. You can think that size inclusive and fat personal trainers want to be executed all you want, but we're not going anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think that fat personal trainers should be executed. I think this is just a product and a problem with our society. I don't know about the execution part. However, I think people should have the right to hire anyone they want for business. That's fine. If you want to hire a fat personal trainer, well, that says a lot about you. That says a lot about your goals. If you're, I'm not intimidated by you because you look worse than me, probably not the ideal person to hire to help you improve. Okay? Just saying. I actually don't want to keep people from hiring this guy. Fine. I mean, there's a lot of businesses that it is what it is. So if this guy can make a living grifting off people's insecurities and, I don't know, giving them a safe space, look, he's providing a service and someone else is buying the service. So I'm not against that. But yeah, I mean, I think it answers itself. So I don't think, at the beginning should be executed. Yeah, I don't buy that. But I don't know. Do you want someone to build your house? Let's say you're building a house on a property. Do you want someone who doesn't know how to build a house? Just saying. Do you want someone who doesn't know how to build a house? Hey, can I get business consulting advice from you? You've lost 5 businesses. You've gone bankrupt 5 times. Give me some advice. Unless you're getting advice on exactly what not to do. There's benefits to, hey, you're doing that and you failed every time. Cool. I'm going to take in that information and understand that that's all the things that don't work. It usually happens when you always have, if you're family, you're going to get critiques. You're going to have people talking shit or giving you advice. It's always funny when there's people that are fat and unhealthy that are giving you nutrition advice. They always want to do that. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand why people actively provide advice when they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. It's really weird. But capitalism will sift these people out. And I will say that most personal trainers, unfortunately, don't know what they're talking about. Most people don't know what they're talking about. So just because you're a personal trainer doesn't mean you know what you're talking about. I don't care how many certifications you have. These certifications are super easy to get. They're not regulated. It's just bare minimum. You pass a test, great. How are you able to deliver information to your clients? How are you able to, I hate the term motivate them, but a lot of people hire a trainer because they're not motivated, which is kind of like a match made in hell. You know, you have people that don't know you have the blind leading the blind. You have people that don't know how to train someone, how to actually build proper habits. And you have someone that's hiring someone because I can't do it myself, so I'm going to hire someone. I think there's benefits if you are a professional athlete or you're a competitive bodybuilder and you hire someone that's better than you and more knowledgeable so you can level up. But at the same time, on a lower level, you have a lot of people just walking in circles and trainers that are doing all sorts of random shit in order to keep their clients because, hey, if we do complicated shit that's ridiculous and they feel exhausted in the day, they're going to feel like they did something. They're going to come back and pay me again because real training and real results, it's slow, it's boring by many contexts, and it takes a long fucking time. So if you're ready to train for years and only make little incremental progress and a couple pounds here and do X, Y, and Z, if you're not ready to do that, then most people will do it for a couple months and then quit. That's why they're fat and out of shape and hire a personal trainer because they're not going to do it on their own. They're not going to be consistent, which is why they think, hey, if I hire someone I pay, that's going to get me in shape. But then you're seeing them 1 or 2 or 3 hours a week and then they're doing fuck all outside the gym. All right, I can rant on that for a while. And of course, I'm not talking about all personal trainers, but most of them. All right, let's do number 1, hate on trans.
What's in the box?
Oh boy. Here we go.
Problem, I think, with the hatred on trans people. It's really not that deep. Like if someone wants to dress...
Pause. This is a Charlie Kirk video, and we have a man wearing a dress. This is such a fucking cringe. The mental illness is insane. How many boosters has this guy had?
Up however they want, that's totally fine.
Okay, so
and I think
I'm
that's
not
where the
preventing
hatred
you. I'm
comes
not
from.
preventing you from dressing up like this. However, let me ask you a question. I will flush this out. So let's pretend you say you are a woman.
Let's pretend.
I know you are a man, but I refuse to call you a woman.
Okay.
Who's the hateful one?
I would say you are. I mean, I wouldn't.
So you're
going to
force me and shame me?
No,
hold on a second.
Anything, man.
I'm the hateful one.
It's really just like common courtesy.
It is never common courtesy to lie.
Okay.
You do not become a thing just because you say it, you are the thing. And guess what? Nobody in the history of the species that was born XX or born XY and transitioned is able to change their chromosomes. Every one of your cells is coded either XX or XY. And it is an insult to women everywhere in this audience and across the country that's saying that you could just wear makeup and dress like a woman, undergo surgery, that you magically become a woman. And it is the abolition of women and is the abolition of reality. And we see great unjust human suffering because of it.
Yeah, common Charlie Cook W. There it is. Imagine wearing a dress and saying you're a woman. It just slaps every woman in the face. So as a woman, you guys should be and this is the problem. This is why you have all these fucking idiots that get a microphone or have the tyranny of the minority that we've been suffering under for a decade because a lot of women aren't standing up. Women are accepting. Women don't want to be judgmental. Like, oh, okay, trying to keep the status quo. What does everyone around me think? Oh, okay, yeah, we need equality and blah, blah, blah. Communism is just weakness. That's what it is. Communism and Marxism is just weakness. Karl Marx was a fat, disgusting slob. Read about Karl Marx. He was a disgusting waste of space. The OG victim. So yeah, it's always someone that's doing better than you. That's the reason for your oppression. No, you're just a mentally ill, disgusting slob. and you're blaming everyone else for your problems. That's it. One more, and then we'll have something kind of funny and just based to follow up with. It's called Trans Goddess, which is an oxymoron.
What's in the box?
Because, well, take a look.
Hi, I'm Rosie, Texas English teacher and transgender goddess, here with just a couple of thoughts about some gender euphoria that I've been feeling today.
AKA a fetish. This person gets off on cross-dressing. I don't care if you do this in your own home, but if you're a teacher, stay away from the fucking kids. Holy shit.
So for those of you that don't know, gender euphoria is the feeling you get when you finally feel comfortable in your gender, when you
AKA getting off on cross-dressing, getting off on wearing women's underwear and wearing dresses and LARPing. That's all it is. It's a sexual fetish.
something good happens and it just brings you a lot of joy and calm. And it's been happening to me a lot today. This morning, when I stopped at the gas station for my morning energy drink, I got ma'amed, which is so funny because I know that there are a lot of women who really don't like being called ma'am, but I like it a lot. It's so new to me and it's so wonderful. And it was such a small thing to make me this happy. And then at school today, I'm surrounded by kids. I teach sophomores and I have these 15, 16-year-olds who are completely on board, who, when I told them I had changed my pronouns, jumped right into it. They call me ma'am, they call me miss. They use my correct pronouns and know my correct name. And it is incredibly affirming. So I guess my message here is if you have any trans people in your life, it is so easy to show them love. So easy. All you have to do is respect them. Something as simple as calling a trans woman ma'am could be the thing that completely changes her entire day. It does for me. I've been out for 7 months and it never, ever, ever gets old. So I just want you to know, if you have trans people in your life, love them because it means everything to them.
Again, going back to the Charlie Kirk clip, forcing other people to use your pronouns, and if you don't play into their fucking Tea Party make-believe, then you're the bigot, all right? So you're lying, you're neglecting reality, you're mentally insane. I don't know who the fuck hired this person, but homeschool your kids, all right? This is just an ad for homeschooling. Mentally sick, twisted sexual fetishists are essentially mind-fucking your kids. So these are pedophiles that live among us. Act accordingly. Okay. Let's watch this one. This one's called Department of Education. Department of Education.
What's in the box?
Enjoy.
Trump just got rid of the Department of Education. I used to be a teacher. I was a summa cum laude graduate, and so I think this is awesome! What? We need it to educate people! Yeah, just like we need the Department of Defense to defend America. The Department of Education was just a bunch of policymakers. They would steal money from people like us, and then they would give it back to the schools only if they would follow their curriculum. The Department of Education was big in student loans. We know how great those are. They started in 1979, so let's see how it went since then. Well, here's spending on students, up, and here's test scores, beep. Oh, and here's our world ranking in education. And people will say, oh no, it's not their fault. It's because they didn't have enough money. They didn't have enough power. That's like a doctor going into a patient, giving him a new type of medicine. The patient gets sicker and sicker and they're about to die. And then the doctor's like, it's not my fault. Problem is I didn't give him enough medicine. Now, what does education actually mean? It's a Latin word with 3 parts. A, duke, ation. A means out, duke means lead, ation makes it a noun. So it's the act of leading or drawing out the innate talents and geniuses inside all of us. Is that really what the schools are doing today? Now each state's gonna run their own education, which isn't great by any means, but it's certainly better than one giant monolithic entity dictating what everybody has to do. We still got a long way to go, but at least this is a step in the right direction. All right, everybody, my name is Michael. Hope you like this one. Bye-bye!
Based. And this is all we're looking for. We're looking for steps in the right direction. Now, of course, a lot of people are going to be hating on what Trump is doing, blah, 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 because the leftist cult is going to tell them on MSNBC, get angry at this, get angry. But really what we need to do is understand that these are decades and decades and decades and decades of bureaucratic red tape and shit that can't be fixed overnight. Trump hasn't even been president for 3 months. It's been 2 months and a week, and a lot has happened. So I know people want things, snap your fingers, everything right away. There's a lot of shit that has to be, it's a process. Just because you flip a switch and we're defunding, like, there's a lot of people that need to get different jobs. Things have to funnel through. Laws have to be passed. Like, there's a lot of shit that happens. So this is what we're dealing with right now in our country. It's the same thing as people that are trying to lose 150 pounds. Like, hey, I'm 350 pounds. I want to be 200. That's great. We all know it's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to undo 30 years of terrible fucking habits. And in this case, I mean, how long is these, like, we're talking about like almost 100 years since the Federal Reserve. We're talking about essentially 100 years of lies from our medical system, right? From the Rockefellers on. We are undoing a lot of the absolute fucking rot in our country. And there's a lot of people that want to keep their head under the water. There's a lot of people that don't want to leave the matrix because it's scary. Oh, I have to realize that I poisoned my kids by injecting them 80 fucking times before they're 5 years old. Oh my God, eating like margarine and soybean oil, literally toxic waste and engine lubricants. Oh my God, that's bad for me, but my taquitos. There are a lot of people that don't want to change. They don't want to face reality. They want to stay plugged in. They don't want to know. All until it shows up at their doorstep. And it is. So in other words, these are steps in the right direction. You have to keep in mind that the midterms, you got to vote Republican. You got to keep these lunatics out of office. I know there's a lot of little special elections and things that are happening at a local level. Get involved. Keep voting red. You have to keep these people out because, yes, it's a step in the right direction. But guess what? We need another step and another step and another step and another step. It's just the first one. So I know people want things to happen faster. I agree. We want all this stuff just to be gone. But again, this is not even like a, so let's take an example. If you've ever been on a speedboat or something like that, right? You ever watch people on boats? A speedboat, vroom, you pivot, or a jet ski, right? Vroom, you turn fast, you go fast the other direction. Hey, vroom, vroom, you're turning. Cool. You ever see a cruise ship or a big yacht? You got to check. You got to make sure there's reefs. You got to make sure there's depth. You got to turn slowly so you don't capsize. You got to slowly turn, the propellers and go reverse. And it takes a lot longer to turn and to move a cruise ship than it does a jet ski or a speedboat. And the U.S. government is the largest government that's ever existed throughout history. So it's like the equivalent of 100 or 1,000 cruise ships. The largest cruise ship, multiply it by 100,000 times. It takes a lot to move it and to shift it. So this is just the beginning. It's been 2 fucking months. People are so impatient. We have to let this work and we have to keep the pressure on. So it's not over. Trump's in, it's over. Like, we have to keep the energy that was in the 2024 election. It has to stay the same. The pressure has to be kept on. You have to keep on showing the insanity of these people because it's not over. It's not over. It's going to take time. You cannot fix all this shit in 2 months. You can't, because that's the equivalent of taking that ship and just pivoting and it's going to collapse. You can't just gut everything. Hey, we have 10 million people out of a job and we cut all these things. You have to have these other systems and other things that swap in. You got to let states take more control. And that's really what Trump is doing. He's getting rid of these government entities that are poisoning our school system and allowing the money to go back to the states so they can have more competition and more funding. You're going to get more funding because you're not waiting for the government to tell you what to do. Okay? And then you can move to a state or to a jurisdiction that you like. People already did that during COVID and after. A lot of people moved to Florida and Texas because, hey, we have freedom. We don't have state income tax. It's great weather. It's great X, Y, and Z and blah, blah, blah. So allow people to move to where they want. If abortion is the biggest, most important thing, then move to Seattle or move to California, or move to New York or move to Chicago or somewhere that has your beliefs. The country is going to rearrange, but it should be based on the states, and then you can move to where you want. It's not a big deal. All right. The United States is unique because we have a lot of jurisdictions that are kind of under this larger umbrella, but the states need to have a lot more power and the government has to be gutted down to a fucking pea size. Government should be dealing with international relations. It should be dealing with litigation, all the way up to the Supreme Court. It should be protecting the border. The government should be doing international relations, the border, and then, the judicial system, navigating for, federal issues and things like that. But we just need more power back to the states, and then you can move where you want. Like the Department of Education, but that's what the left is going to use as a cudgel. He's breaking down. How are we going to pay for food? What are you talking about? You're going to have more money for this stuff. The state's going to have more money, and then you could vote for representatives of your area that are going to fund and going to promote school systems and school of choice and giving parents tax credits where they can send their kids to whatever school in the area that they want. And then competition's going to rise and these schools are going to get better rather than kept under the boot of the federal government, just brainwashing kids. You're going to have more competition. It's going to be better. But we don't want to talk about that, do we? Let's do one throwback and then we're going to go into overtime. All right, jump scare. Sorry, not sorry.
Is an umbrella term.
It's a stupid fucking retarded term. Don't use two words to say what you can say with one. That's specific. Birthing person is not a thing.
Sorry, not sorry.
A mother is a woman. A mother means, by our context, a human female that had a child. So you don't need a birthing person. Too many syllables. Mother. Is that a fucking mustache? All right, let's continue.
Birthing persons is an umbrella term.
It's
It is
stupid.
an umbrella term.
It's stupid.
Just like parents and guardians.
That's not the same thing.
It's not.
Whether or not you refer to yourself as parent or your kid refers to you as parent, no, you probably don't. You probably refer to yourself as a mom.
What are you talking about? Jeez, no one knows what they're talking about. No one knows. No one knows. No one knows. Ridiculous. All right, Swole card time. Fam, you can start shifting over into the Daily Swole Telegram chat because we are getting into OT. Let's give away today's Swole card on Rumble. Hashtag Swole season. Let's give it away. All right, very nice. We're sending this card to Chirac. It is Marquise.
Congratulations!
Underscores to piss off Papa. Oh, those fucking underscores. Congratulations, Mark. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. Swole card 3248 in the subject. Your mailing address. Do you just spam the chat at the end? Oh, if I saw that first, maybe the Falcon wouldn't have chosen you. I'm just kidding. Oh, Falcon wants you to have it. All right. Well, this was earlier. This was an earlier drop. So congratulations, Mark. Send us that email. Thanks for being here. Appreciate all of you. Fam, we have an overtime segment that starts right now. And of course, we have a brand new driving while gaining. Let's fucking get into it. Who's ready?
Finish him.
Who's ready, baby? All right. The Daily Swole Telegram chat is pinned to the top of the Swole Fam Telegram chat. If you're a member, you have access to that one. Click on the pinned post at the top. Join in on the Daily Swole Telegram chat. And of course, we'll get this into Swole TV in the app shortly after. We got new Balls Deep edits, and we have a brand new Driving While Gaining only for members. So head on over there now. We'll start in 2 minutes. Thanks for being here. Appreciate every single one of you. Thanks for being here. And we'll see you next time. Peace, McGee's, Deuce, Magoose, your boy, Papa Swolio. Out.
I just wanna win on the low, like